Gang, let's go! This is your host with the most, the Warhammer, leader of the Forge Master himself, coming back at you with another installment. Now I am going to be talking about the God of Destruction, Lord Luud. Now, the god Luud is a gag character. This is actually not a serious character. You have to realize that at this early stage in Dragon Ball GT, Goku, Pan, and Trunks and Jeru are just exploring the galaxy for the Black Star Dragon Balls to return them to Earth and save the planet from blowing up. And it's basically just a revision of Goku's adventures as a kid in the original anime. Luud is a complete gag character. He's very comical. He's a lot like what Oolong was in the original Dragon Ball, or he's a lot like Emperor Pilaf. But it's very interesting, but Luud has the title of the God of Destruction. Now, who else has the title of God of Destruction? That's right, Beerus does. But wait a second. Beerus does not come along until the 2012 movie Battle of Gods. What is going on here? Well, Beerus is not the first Dragon Ball character, nor the first shonen manga character to have the title of God of Destruction. It even appears in the Dragon Ball Z manga with Cell. When Cell transforms into his perfect form, he is referred to as a God of Destruction. Luud is also referred to as the God of Destruction. So, even decades before Battle of Gods ever came out in Japan, there were characters, for example, in Z and GT that carried the title of God of Destruction. So anyways, Luud is basically this giant, big baby robot. It's really a shame that Ghost of Niccolo is not here, because he would actually be enjoying this if he was watching this, but he's not, so. You know how the daimyo always calls himself Big Baby? And that's kind of a joke? Well, that's literally what Lord Luud actually is. He's a big baby. He is literally a giant baby mech, or mecha. Now, at first, he's kind of like this Hindu god statue that uses a doll beam and turns people that disobey the rules of his cult into dolls. For example, Pan and the Para brothers, or the Para brothers, are turned into dolls by Cardinal Muchi. Later, the great Lord Luud is activated. Actually, he is activated by Daltaki. Daltaki is the one who actually runs the cult of Luud behind the shadows. And in fact, he is a mad scientist that works for Dr. Mayu, and the cult of Luud is just a staging ground for Dr. Mayu and Daltaki to gather energy for the machine mutants of planet M2. There actually is no God of Destruction Luud. He is a robot mech, and he is basically a side project that Dr. Mayu was trying to use. And then when Pan, Goku, and Trunks begin to fight Luud, and Cardinal Muchi and Lord Muchi and all of these others, Dr. Mayu realizes that Goku, Pan, and Trunks are scions, and he is a Tusuforian, or a Tuffle. He's actually a Tusuforian. And it actually turns out that he is studying and analyzing the fighting moves and postures of Goku, Pan, and Trunks for the Sigma Force and for General Rildo, or Rilrudo. So anyways, Luud is activated. He's a giant, big baby mech robot. And then once Pan and Doltaki are turned into dolls, and their souls and spirits or whatever are absorbed into Luud, Luud actually turns into this bright red machine. But Luud has a serious flaw in his biology, or his android machine. It turns out that there's a weak spot, or a kind of this hole that goes into his giant belly. And if Goku and Pan are able to fire Kamehamehas at this at the same time, it destroys Luud's heart. Now, it takes a couple of tries, but eventually Goku and Pan attack Luud's heart simultaneously at the exact same time. Luud is driven by anger and rage and cannot control, or has no control, because Luud has no mind. He's just a fighting robot machine. He has no mind. Goku fires a Kamehameha from the outside, Pan fires a Kamehameha from the inside, and it works. Luud's heart is destroyed, and the android just blows up into junk metal. And that is the death of Lord Luud.